The following podcast contains strong language and alternative facts. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Heel Podcast. Over the airwaves and under the influence, we are Turning Heel.
Let's get this shindig started. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Turning Heel podcast. With me, 1/3 of the triple threat is the Griz. And with me, as always, is one other third of the triple threat. Didn't think that went through. It's Robert.
Hello.
And we believe that Chris isn't here today because he had now installed a swimming pool in his flat. So I think he's enjoying that.
Yeah, he's gallivanting.
You're probably still trying to fix the leak.
Yeah, he needs to get a dehumidifier in there big time.
Oh yeah, that's the part that I'm looking forward to. Is if he had the conversation with his down the stairs neighbour regarding that.
Yeah, we should record that for the listeners. And it's quite sad that he has to flood his toilet just to avoid talking to us. I think it's just beyond the point of rudeness.
Well, you know, Chris, he's not exactly the smartest tool in the shed.
He is a tool.
You can say that again.
He's a tool.
You can say that again.
He's a tool.
Well, what a week of pro wrestling by the sounds of things. As we were talking off mic, both of us have overindulged in the sport of kings over the past week.
We haven't off. I've basically caught up with the last half of the G1 climax all the way up to Power Struggle. So I'm completely caught up. I've watched over a month's worth of New Japan in the space of a week. It's been very trying.
I have watched around 6 episodes of 205 Live, Raw, AEW, last week SmackDown as well, NXT, and five episodes of NXT UK and 3 episodes of Impact. So,
but to be fair, during my New Japan watching, there was some news.
Yes. So why don't we start with News Japan?
First off, on the last night of the A block, Will Ospreay left Chaos and started his own faction.
Ooh.
With Stardom SWA champion B. Priestley and returning from Excursion Oka, now being known as the Great Okan.
Yes.
And they are known as the Empire.
I mean, the question that I have is how will B. Priestley really factor into this in terms of, you know, New Japan not necessarily having a women's division?
I think it's just as a valet.
Unless maybe this might lead to something, you know, B. Priestley defending her SWA title at Wrestle Kingdom, whether it be a dark match or like a pre-show match or something.
Possibly they done the dark match this year.
Yeah.
With the Stardom tag team match, but I don't think it's really leading to anywhere. I think they like things the way they are. It's just to sort of to give Will extra heat.
I mean, like, yeah. But maybe just like a one-off match at the Dome because they're all under the same umbrella. Maybe the closest to a show, but I'm not expecting like, you know, the Stardom women's division of like New Japan or anything.
Yeah. We also had the announcement of the Best of the Super Juniors and World Tag League running at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
the finals of the best of the Super Juniors and World Tag League are on the same night. And then the next night they're doing another tournament in the US, the Super J Cup. So that's 8 tournaments that New Japan's had since the restart.
Jesus. 8?
Yeah,
Bloody hell.
The New Japan Cup,
Mm-hmm.
New Japan Cup USA,
Mm-hmm.
the Never Six-Man tournament,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
the junior, the junior tag title tournament,
Uh-huh.
G1,
Uh-huh.
Best of Super Juniors,
Uh-huh.
World Tag League,
Mm-hmm.
Super J Cup,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had another one on strong, Lions Break Crown. So that's 9 tournaments since.
Bloody hell.
They love their
I mean, if you love a good tournament, then New Japan clearly was the place to be this year.
Yep. Tournaments.
And tournaments.
All the tournaments have basically fit all their tournaments into the year.
Yeah, obviously they normally kind of pad these out throughout the year, but considering the fact they had to spend half the year off, they really needed to just slap those in as quickly as they could.
Because normally they do a Junior World Tag League as well, but I think they're just going to leave that, and that sort of counts for the Junior Tag Titles tournament that they've done.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Should have just called it that.
No, it was for the vacant Junior Tag title since Yo's injured.
Yeah, I know, but they should have just called that tournament that and just been like, yeah, see, we've done it. It's fine.
There's always next year. We also have news that next year, the New Year Dash will not be taking place at Korakuen Hall. It will be taking place from the Tokyo Dome. What was it called again?
Center?
Tokyo Dome City Hall.
Yeah, close enough.
Which is a part of the Tokyo Dome. So technically they're actually doing 3 nights in the Dome.
Yeah. under its illustrious roof.
So it'll be weird not going to Korakuen Hall after Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
But sometimes change is good. We'll see what happens.
It makes me excited to see the kind of setup that they're going to have for that show.
What, do you mean like seated and stuff?
Like how they're going to do the stage and all that, or if they even are going to do a stage, because normally for the New Year's Dash show, they kind of just do your, standard, walkway thing.
The standard Korakuen setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still going to try and stick with something like that, or are they going to try and put a stage in, or?
Oh, I've never seen. Oh, it's the first time that they've been to that part of the dome in 9 years, so that's way before that time. So I don't even know what the inside of it looks like.
Yeah, me neither.
So it'll be interesting to see that.
Maybe that's some homework for us.
I'll try and find the show where
it happened.
Maybe have a wee look. Maybe see what's happening.
Oh, hold on. Do you know what? You forgot a tournament.
I forgot a tournament?
Yeah.
What one?
That tournament for the with the gimmick matches.
Oh, the KOP, 10 tournaments.
There you go.
KOPW. Oh, we also had the first defense of the KOPW at Power Struggle.
Oh yeah.
And no turnbuckle match.
So it's all bare turnbuckles. Yeah.
But if the KOPW, I was very confused by it. I've now sort of understand the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yano is the provisional winner until the end of the year, where he'll be officially crowned. So it's a bit like a scramble, but it happens all the way through the year.
So it's like he's kind of like the interim champion just now.
Now until the end of the year, where he gets crowned as KOPW 2020.
If he keeps it, obviously.
Well, there's not really any space for him to defend it now.
Okay.
Because all the shows that are coming up are all World Tag League and Best of Super Juniors.
Yeah.
So there's not, and Yano's in World Tag League, so there's not really any space for him to defend it. So it looks like he's going to be the KOP 2020 champion.
The official first winner.
And then it starts all again in 2021, where we'll have the 4 matches going into the 4-way, and then we go on from there. And then whoever's got the trophy at the end of next year will be KOPW 2021. If they don't skip it by then.
Do you reckon we're going to have said tournament maybe over the first day of Wrestle Kingdom? Or maybe even the second day?
Well,
and then the final be at the next show?
You could have the qualifiers night 1 and then the 4-way night 2 if they do it that way again.
Or alternatively, if you want to do it that way, you could do 2 one night, 2 on night 2, and then make the finals be like maybe the main event of Dash.
Maybe. That's a good idea.
That's a nice way to kind of spread it out, so you're not just having 4 matches and like this kind of mini tournament thing.
That's quite a healthy way to put it, so that you're not being bombarded by shenanigans.
Yeah, because like if you don't like this cup and whatever, then that would be a really dull like period of time having to watch all this stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it just now because they feel as though they were sold on false goods, and I kind of get what they mean. When Okada announced it, he was saying, "Oh, there could be ladder matches, there could be street fights, etc." Blah, and then all it's been is kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
The cat matches, we've had 2 count matches, no finishers matches.
You see, that's all fun, and it's clearly, I feel like it is going to build to something as well. Like, build to a point where maybe, because I mean, obviously, Yano being, the first champion, he's going to think of like stupid and easy ways to try and retain. So, like, but maybe.
Well, at Power Struggle, he retained against Zack Sabre Jr. by count out because he tied his shoelaces together in between the guardrails.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but before at the start of the match, he was complaining they were taking the turnbuckles off. Basically saying what he's doing, and they're like, "You picked this? Why? So you wanted this and now you don't?"
But that's 50% of my shtick.
I know. So he was having to run about trying to find the turnbuckles as well. It was quite entertaining. Wasn't as fun though as the match that they had during the G1. They had a really funny match during the G1 that you should maybe take a look at.
I know, like, just as every year, I always have the biggest intention to watch G1, but then when I realize that it's happening, it's already about 5 days in. It's like, oh, that's a lot of commitment.
Mm-hmm. But the good thing about the G1 this year was that there was no guff.
Yeah, it was just straight matches.
Straight up G1, you had your young lions at the beginning.
How many hours was like every show?
The block shows the block shows were about 2.5 hours.
That's not too bad actually, considering New Japan.
And then with the finals, it was almost 4.
Again, that's not too bad considering New Japan.
Because the finals of the G1 this year, Ibushi and Sanada, they now hold the record for the longest G1 finals match in history.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long?
I'm not sure on the time, but it was brought up on the Road 2 shows.
Mm-hmm. Right, I'm gonna take a guess at it. I want to say it was 56 minutes long.
50. You say 56.
56:19.
Well, I've got it right. 50. That's very precise.
Oh yeah, because I don't think it was going to stop at the exact 56-minute mark. So
35 minutes, 12 seconds.
Well, I was off by over 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. But it's weird to think that that's the longest match, considering Like who is all fought in the finals.
Exactly. Like, I'm pretty sure that Naito versus Kenny Omega match. I'm
Yeah, that felt longer.
yeah. I would
And,
say that maybe that was the longest match until this match.
and also, Ibushi is like the first guy in like almost, I think it's 20 years to win two G1s back to back.
Back to back, yeah. 20 years though? I don't. I would question that maybe.
Yeah, I'm just sort of spitballing. I know it's like the
Yeah,
first time in a long time someone's won
yeah.
wins back to back, but Ibushi doesn't even have the case anymore.
He sure doesn't, and I've never been so annoyed at the result of a match that I didn't watch. But
Yeah, thanks Fight TV's Twitter.
yeah,
But
thanks, one of our friends on Facebook, despite the fact I wasn't planning on watching it anyway.
um, the briefcase has been defended 16 times successfully. Well, every time it's been defended successfully until Power Struggle, where Jay White defeated Ibushi
The
by
Arns.
nefarious means.
Oh yeah, and I've been hearing throughout the tournament that's been Jay White's kind of bread and butter.
Yeah, he used Gedo a lot during the G1.
See, like that's the thing. Like, I mean, obviously, as you can kind of tell, I'm not the massivest fan of Jay White. But like, even he is decent enough of a wrestler that he would be able to like win matches legitimately, and he does not need to stoop to these kind of levels to win every match.
No, he doesn't, but that's what makes him the bad guy, because he doesn't want to put doesn't really feels as though he doesn't want to put the effort in.
Mm.
But
Well,
at least it's not as bad as Evil and Dick Togo. That was
is that bad?
That was a nightmare. Every Evil match had a ref bump.
Fucking hell.
G1. Every single match.
Yeah, like New Japan rely on like the ref bumps and then fighting on the outside far too much. I feel, and it's like, I mean, I know storytelling and all that, but you need to kind of find other ways to do things.
I think it's just time to sack Red Shoes and bring back Tiger Hattori. Because it's always Red Shoes that fucking takes the bump.
Mm. Yeah, because I mean, because when we watched through the New Japan Cup, like, and I watched a string of like four or five shows like back to back to back to back, and I was just like, oh, they're fighting on the outside again. Oh, there's a barricade spot again. Oh, there's a ref bump again.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Well, is there any more news from the land of the rising sun?
We have some more returns coming. We have Rob Eagles coming back.
Okay.
David Finlay will be coming back to Japan.
Okay.
The Guerrillas of Destiny.
Oh yay.
Hinari.
Okay.
Fale. And Owens. Chase Owens came back during the Road to Power Struggle shows.
Okay.
So there's all your people that are back, coming back.
A mixed bag.
Yeah, but I think they're swapping out because I think Cobb and company are heading back to America to film, to tape more strong shows.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a nice, good mix.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that really wrestling in general should probably like look into doing more, is like swapping out talent every now and again.
Yeah, because there's no Kenta on any shows now until next year, I think, and he has the US Championship briefcase, which I think they're kind of treating like the interim US Championship just now.
Well, yeah, because obviously skipping ahead to AEW a little bit, the the world title match, the Kenny Omega versus John Moxley match, will be, I think it's like the 3rd of December.
The 2nd of December.
2nd. So that leads me to think that Mox might drop the belt, and then he's going to be going over to Japan. Obviously, he'll need 2 weeks to self-isolate and all that hoopla.
Yep.
And so
isolation.
Yep. Thinking Kenta versus Mox for the US title at Wrestle Kingdom.
It's a possibility. I mean, it could be that Kenta's not doing this because he's going to do more strong shows.
Perchance. But I mean, like, it's that kind of thing where
And
I don't know.
Kenta stays in America. Kenta resides in America.
Yeah.
So who knows? And then, because the two of them will need to come back and do the 2 weeks isolation over Christmas. Which might be a wee bit hard.
I know, but I feel like it's one of those things that if they're going to do this at Wrestle Kingdom, that's just one of those annoying things they're going to need to do in it.
But I'm genuinely surprised that they've not taken the belt off him yet.
Well, they've done that before when he...
because of the typhoon.
Yeah, which was totally not his problem.
Yeah, well, it's the same this time, so why haven't they done it now?
Exactly, and he's had it a hell of a lot longer this time, and I fucking haven't even seen the belt.
No, he's not even took photos of it for any of his social media or anything to sort of go, look, I still have this.
I know, like, I'm surprised that,
he's not even sent in a video. He never even done a video for the US, the New Japan Cup US tournament.
Well, actually, yeah, you know what? That's interesting, because that would have been a good thing to do. Is like, oh well, whoever wins this tournament has to come up against me, and yada yada. Just to remind people that he is still the champion, and even like the fact that AEW World Champion Chris Jericho wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom this year. Could you not maybe just do a thing where Mox defends the US title once or twice, and even on Dark against a fucking a kind of higher up jobber, or against Mark Quinn or fucking Cage or Ricky Starks or something like that.
Well, it all depends on what sort of they need to work that out between themselves, New Japan and AEW.
Yeah. Because I know the kind of the whole point was I think they purposely didn't want Mox to wrestle in America with that belt or something.
Even though the belt was created for the American
or the US, yeah.
Expansion, yeah. So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So he can't wrestle defending that belt, but that's one of those things where I think a brief conversation between Tony Khan, John Moxley, and some of the heads at New Japan, they could have came up with something.
Yeah, it's easy. It appears it sounds as though it's easily fixable, but there's just a lot of politics.
Yeah.
So that covers my massive binge watching on New Japan.
Yep, and then we'll cover some of my massive binge watching a little bit later.
Geez, your binge.
Well, we'll save that. We'll save that to the end. Why don't we get into the old meat and potatoes, as they say, of the week of wrestling, and we'll start off with AEW.
Let's start.
Start as we mean to go on. So, AEW this week. Scared the hell out of me there.
Glug, glug.
So, we start this week with Team Taz coming out. Taz points out that Darby Allin, the new TNT champion, is watching from the rafters.
You're jumping the gun.
Am I?
Yeah. We started off with a new intro.
See, I missed the intro. I think it must have got cut from the one that I was watching. So I meant to actually go back and see if I could find it online, but I haven't.
We had a new intro video and a remix of the Dynamite theme.
Remix! I'm really going to need to go and look at that now.
I quite enjoy it. I actually like it more now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's the same song essentially, but they've changed some things.
Well, I really like the new match graphics that they had. I thought that looked a hell of a lot cooler.
Yeah, that's essentially what like the new intro video is like. It's like new graphics, new. You don't see any crowds or anything anymore in the intros.
Maybe they're just going to work with that until you actually see crowds again.
Yeah.
Um, so Team Taz out, and they start calling out Darby, and then they also say if oh yeah, if we see Cody, we're going to beat him up again as well. Then Taz starts to big up Brian Cage's opponent for his match that's just about come up, being Matt Sydal, Robert's favorite.
Ah!
So like so much of his favorite, he has the same kind of hairstyle as him.
He fell on his ass. I'm never gonna
Poor
let
guy.
that.
He's never gonna live that down.
No.
I mean, like as I've said before, I like the fact that he has tried his hardest to lean into the joke. Let's face it.
Yeah, he's owned it, but he fucked it. They can try and explain all they want, he still fucked it.
Yeah, and considering it was definitely raining during this match, I'm surprised that the finish of this match actually came off as well as it did.
I didn't notice the rain, but the finish was excellent. I really enjoyed it.
Well, the only reason I noticed the rain was because there was a specific camera cut where, like, I think the two of them were on the top rope, and the camera was pointing up, and then it was covered in rain. So I was like, oh, there's something on that camera there, and then when Cody comes out and the next segment, I think it is, he mentions the rain. So my assumption was correct. My hunch was correct. So yeah, pretty much like most of this match was Brian Cage just beating the hell out of Sydal. Like it felt like minutes on end. Sydal finally managed to come back with a power bomb on Cage. What a weird sentence that is to say.
Yeah.
And then does his diving knees to the outside of the ramp. Then Sydal counters the drill claw and hits a spike hurricanrana for the closest of 2 counts. But the ending of the match comes when Sydal goes up for something. I'm going to assume maybe like just a kind of front flip. Just throw your body at Cage and see what works. But he gets caught right in the perfect position for the drill claw, and it is over. And what I've seen Cage do this kind of catch of smaller guys 100 times. It never stops being impressive.
No, Cage is just he's a marvel.
You were describing somebody before we came on when you said he's a unit, and I think that is the best way to describe Cage.
Yeah, unit.
Yeah. So after the match, Stark says that they're officially ranked, and his next step is the TNT Championship. And then, as I mentioned, they show the fancy new graphics as they run down to next card. Then Cody comes out, and then this is the part where he says, there's some weather we're having. Are you guys all right? And then they're like, hey, Dub. So Cody says, I'm not wanting a rematch at this point, but he is looking to expunge another loss, that loss being to MJF, and then some random woman wanders out behind him. And then he's like, can I help you? She starts to prattle on for a bit, and then she just kind of goes, oh, if anyone's wondering, I'm Jade Cargill, and just put in brackets, we weren't. And then she just continues to ramble on for ages, like, blah, blah, blah. I've been here for weeks. I've been in the crowd. Oh, you say the giant killer, but there's nothing big about you because you got a tiny penis. And then like she keeps doing this weird thing where she would stop for a couple of seconds and then she would kind of like do this kind of swishy thing with her hair and like pure turn awkwardly. And there was one point where Cody literally looked at his watch during this promo.
Yeah. It was.
And
I thought it wasn't bad. Like, I kind of got the cadence. She was trying to like sort of build like anticipation, I think. But she was pausing in like the wrong places sometimes.
Yeah. It was almost in the way that when she got up to the ramp, it was almost like, I feel like she almost forgot what she was meant to do. And then she was like, oh yeah, one more thing, by the way.
Aye.
Yeah, she says shit at one point, and they were too late to bleep it out. So it's like, blah blah, you're shit.
They were late to bleep everything.
I know. Then then she says, oh yeah, this was the weirdest line of the whole thing was, oh, you've got your second name back. Golf clap. But I guess you don't have the balls to go by one name. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And then she goes, the giant that's coming is Shaq. And then right after that, I think it's Tony Schiavone goes, Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal. And it's like, so I guess he's not going by one name either. So he also has no balls by your logic.
I will believe it when I see it. How many times have we been promised Shaq at a wrestling show?
Yeah, and then he just comes out a random battle royal at WrestleMania for no reason.
Yeah.
We still are waiting on that Shaq Big Show match they've been promising us for years.
Hence why I said I'll believe it when I see it.
Exactly. Then Brandy Rose comes out like a house on fire, and Robert, you said that you had something, comments about this, so I'm going to let you take this part away.
Miss Brandy, for all you How I Met Your Mother fans, appears to be suffering from revertigo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Where she's normally quite proper when she speaks, but she went right stereotypical black woman very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Very out of character.
But
as if this is like the first black woman she's seen in years, and she's just went revertigo.
Despite the fact she hangs about with Red Velvet, but
yeah,
like, see, I think that would be funny though if like when she started hanging about with Red Velvet, she talks like that to Red Velvet, and then just turns around and then puts on the whole ooh, it's me, Brandy. Well, like, what did you actually think of this in terms of like her coming off with this? Because I actually thought that this was kind of awesome. And in fact, the actual note I have is, well, there you go. There was a talent terrible enough to make Brandy Rose look incredible on the mic, because Brandy always looks incredible. In brackets.
All we need now is to bring Alicia Edwards in, and then I'll make Jade look good.
Yeah, Jesus. Oh, when we watched, when me and Chris watched Bound for Glory, and Alicia Edwards came out in that fucking battle royal, I just went, ugh. And he's like, "Why? What's up?" And it's like, "Oh, she's the fucking worst." And he's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, she's the worst wrestler. She can't even act. She screams everything and is just like so goddamn annoying. And he's just like, fair enough. I think she's kind of hot. And it's like, yeah, probably that's the only thing she has going for her. Is she's moderately attractive.
I'd say tepid.
Yeah, give or take, that's about the same we're saying there. It's like she ain't a fucking dreamboat or anything either.
No, she's the fucking Titanic.
Aye. Then Cage and Darby. No, Cage and Starks. Wait, was Starks here? Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. The Team Taz attack Cody. Darby makes his run in from the crowd with theme music. And then Darby, with his thumbtack covered jacket, takes out Starks, and then Cage both bail. And then Will Hobbs runs out, 5 minutes after the attack is over, and stands with Cody and Darby, but I don't know.
Again, did he touch Starks, or Cage or Taz.
Oh.
Yep, so my theory's still
Your theory's still active.
active.
But also, like, I really feel like the sales have been taken out of Will Hobbs very quickly because he was meant to have that big main event match being at the side of John Moxley, and nothing has happened with the guy since.
Well, I think this is what they're doing now with him, is the sort of the teasing of him joining Team Taz.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that this gets kind of rectified soon because I am very quickly getting bored of it, to be honest.
I can see why.
Yeah. I mean, like, at least give him a match or something. Like,
Yeah, shite
just
or pot.
exactly. Well, fuck, I just thought of that thing, that quip, and refrain from saying it, but you done it for us, which I appreciate. There was a Moxley promo backstage, just the usual yada yada. I won't quit. I've got my next challenge to do. I mean, all good stuff, but it's like a lot of Moxley stuff tends to be the same these days.
I was quite forgiving AEW its first year with its production.
Year two, and this is still happening.
It's still happening. You're playing through the arena speakers for the TV audience? No.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
This is Impact mistakes.
And the fact that they played the entire promo like this.
They done
like normally they start it and then they're like, fuck, change to the other audio, and then it gets better. But this one, it was just like, I won't, quit.
It was as if the audio man was on his fag break.
Aye. Honestly, man, like, and you would think that, like, I mean, wrestling fans are some of the most self-hating fans ever. Like, obviously, I would reckon there's a good bunch of people that gave AEW, the kind of hint, nudge, going to fix that, and they just seem to not do it.
No. Tony Khan needs to eat his finger out.
So
it's mistakes like this that turn you into a fucking laughing stock like Impact.
And to be honest, there are some people that are definitely laughing at the guy already.
Yeah.
He doesn't make it easy on himself.
He doesn't, even when he's playing with Daddy's money.
Right. So B&B are out to take on the Natural Nightmares in the Bunkhouse Brawl match.
So BB&B are in a BBB match.
Oh, aye. Yep, this B&B being Butcher, Blade, and Bunny, not bed and breakfast and then back to bed. Bed and breakfast and bed again.
But I think QT Marshall needs to change his name.
Why is he not cute anymore?
No, he's not a cutie anymore.
Ah.
Like, it's like the complete wrong name to give someone like him the name of. I get it. Is it supposed to be funny?
I don't think it's actually meant to be cute. As in,
it was when I was watching this match, they were like QT Marshall, and I was like, oh, QT Marshall? Oh, that's kind of stupid.
I mean, I think that was only the kind of joke when Ali was with him. It's like, oh, QT the cutie. But I think, like, it's meant to be like, his name is like Quentin Terrence Marshall or something, but it sounds better calling himself QT Marshall.
Quid Marshall or Terry Marshall?
Yeah, like that's my kind of assumption. Like that, see if he turns heel, that is exactly what he should do. He should call himself like Quentin T. Marshall. Like that's perfect. Like kind of similar to MGF, but like still have like have two names in a middle initial, because as they say, like there's nothing more heelish than a middle initial.
No, definitely not.
And I right, James R. Kennedy. What was his old saying? It was like top talent, middle initial, bottom line, or something along those lines.
I can't remember. It's been a long time.
That was always something I really enjoyed from him. Shout out to James R. Kennedy.
I was actually going to say I touched Christopher's willy.
Oh, it took me a second to figure out what Christopher you were talking about.
The original teen sensation.
Yes. Those were the days. Do you know what's really funny? Speaking of How I Met Your Mother, the fact that I have heard his theme music playing in the background.
Shut up.
I'm trying to think of what episode, but yeah, that's definitely like the din 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 theme music. Obviously without the lyrics spliced over it.
Oh, so it's like a sample track.
Yeah.
I
I'm trying to think. I think it must have been in like one of those scenes that they have in a strip club or something.
It might be the one with Stripper Lally.
Maybe. God, I know I was about to say a dumb thing by saying, I'll ask my other half because she just watched through All How I Met Your Mother again recently, but I highly doubt that she will remember fucking Christopher. Nevertheless, not remembering Christopher, but what his theme song sounds like. She's not a massive nerd like I am when it comes to wrestling theme music. So let's get into the bunkhouse brawl match, which started very quickly with Blade hitting a guitar over the head of QT Marshall. Butcher was in the ring at one point, and he done this awesome crossbody holding a chair onto Dustin. Or was it QT? No, I think it was Dustin, because it led to the point where Dustin got handcuffed onto the turnbuckles, and then this was the part where B&B just started beating down QT constantly, and then we get into the break where I was watching the AEW Plus for this, so this is one of the few times where I actually seen this. Arguably the most grossest spot of the match, where QT was leant against the ropes, and then Bunny stabs QT in the head with scissors.
Yeah.
But like, not just stabbing, but like kind of stabbed, and then was like, yeah, grindy on his forehead, and that looked disgusting.
Yeah, it was like Arn Anderson and Psycho Sid.
Ugh. Or New Jack and anybody. So Dustin gets bum rushed and knocked off the apron, which breaks the handcuffs. And then Dustin hits a Blade in the face with a ladder. And the next time we see Blade, he is busted wide open.
Oh God!
What do you reckon? Hard way or gimmicked? Because this was a lot of blood.
I would definitely say it was up there on the Muta scale.
Oh yeah. So Butcher and Dustin fight up to a kind of stage area with Butcher planning something. Like he kind of kicked down the rail and was like, ah! But then QT shows up, sprays a fire extinguisher in Butcher's face, and then Dustin goes for a bulldog, and Bulldog's Butch through like a giant wooden box thingy. And then back in the ring, QT sets up a ladder for JR to scream, QT, get the tables! Because he set up a fucking ladder, not a table. There was a
flashbacks to the 2000s.
Yeah. But, you know, he was thinking of the wrong goddamn tag team. There was a double team by Butcher and Blade through two chairs on, I think that was Dustin.
That's their tag finish, full death.
Yeah, right through two chairs. And then, oh yeah, I've misspelled Bunny and wrote Buddy. So Bunny gets sent through a... Buddy Murphy just shows up for no reason.
Buddy Murphy!
So Bunny gets sent through a table after trying to hold QT for the Blade to hit him with a chair shot. And then a cowbell and a cutter to Blade for the Natural Nightmares victory.
This was brilliant.
It actually was.
This is what I expected for the main event of Full Gear.
Wow, yeah, exactly.
This is what I was hoping for with Moxley and Eddie Kingston.
A literal bloodbath.
Yeah. All the weapons, all the shenanigans. This was great. I loved this.
Yeah. And as I say, I'm going to harp back to it a second time. Like, considering the talent that was involved, like, you know, I love Butcher and Blade, and QT Marshall and Dustin are, you know, whatever, they're fine. Like, but like the four of them put together something like quite amazing for like a TV feud.
Yeah.
And it's bonkers in that way that we're comparing a match like this that, I mean, admittedly isn't, you know, even close to the biggest feud in AEW, and saying this is what the main event of your last pay-per-view should have been like is nuts.
But in fairness, it's probably one of the longest stories that's been running in AEW.
Yeah, might even be longer than that, considering it started on Dark and people didn't know it was happening for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been happening